Good morning, my friends. I wanted to show you the progress on my scrapbook organization. This is the hallway that leads to my scrapbook room. And as you can see, there are no boxes of scrapbook supplies in this hallway. And as we go towards my room, I have completed it. I am so excited. It has taken me about 4 or 5 years to get it to this place. I'm trying to hold this camera as steady as possible. Because all I have is my phone to film with. And okay, first thing that you see is underneath the desk is the boxes. There's 2, 4, 6 that contain my printed photos, and that's where I keep them so they're easy for me to get to. And this table is where I do the majority, because from here you're seeing the back of my Cricut and the back of my Gemini Junior. That's where I do the majority of my layout creating. And as we come in the room, you will see a cart that contains my card making supplies that I can wheel over to the desk when I want to use it. And on top of that, as I get closer and kind of move around through the doorway, it's a little tight space, so I apologize. I'm trying to do this very slowly. That is a scrapbook kit that stays together. It's my horse and farm. I have family members that have a farm and do a lot with horses, and so I always have photos of that to scrapbook. So whenever I want to create a layout from the farm or the horses, it is right there. And so then you see the closet that has some supplies, and we move, and it is organized. And I guess I could show you that in a future video. But here we move and we can see the first of my 3 cubes. And so this is where some of my supplies are. It's mostly wood veneer, alphabets, flare, and then it is album storage and where albums are, and some of my templates. And then the next 2 cubes are full of paper. And that's where my paper and my scrapbook collections are. I'm mostly a collection scrapbooker, and they're usually by theme or by season. And so I keep them together. I do have a little bit of a rainbow section here, and like a kit, like I have a foodie kit because I take a lot of pictures of food. And then as we look up on top, I have a basket of floss, a basket of twine, I have my sticker maker, and then I have some more photo boxes and the albums that contain my layout designs in case I need a design to look at to give me some inspiration, and my memorabilia and some printed photos. And then we see my sewing machine and a little dresser that contains my overflow of supplies and things like my 3-hole punch and my Scotch tape and some other miscellaneous things and some extra brushes. And then I have 2 carts, and I'm trying to keep the glare from the window out. I have 2 carts, and the first cart you can see is my stamps and my stencils, and then at the bottom are some Prima flowers. And the second cart is mostly embellishments. And so here is my small desk, and it is my mixed media center and my filming center. And so when I want to use these carts, I just roll my mixed media cart of stamps and stencils over here, and I use them. Up on top of the desk are some more of my stamps, and my paint supplies and inks are there on the shelves and down in the cabinet. And then underneath I have the pink binder that I carry my page kits in. I'm getting ready to go to a crop at the beginning of April, and so that's the main thing I use from carrying my page kits. And then there's my computer and printer, and below that is some drawers that have ink pads and marker pens. There's my cutters. There is the box that contains my old creative memory punches that I still do use. a trash can, which we all need. And then this 6-foot table is where I do most of my layout creations. And you can see there's my Gemini Junior, the pink item. There's my most used tools. There's my Cricut. I have the original Cricut, and next to it is a container of cartridges that I utilize. I still make titles and embellishments with my Cricut. And then I have the kit for my Pumpkin Inferno layouts, making page kits. As I said, I have a crop coming up at the beginning of April, and I want to finish that. I've already shared with you some of the layouts that I've done, and I want to try to finish that album at the crop. And so this is the main surface where I create my layouts, and I'm very excited. It may have a lot of stuff on it, but it is functional, and I have been keeping it neat and clean as I've been doing a few layouts this week. And my pink Gemini Junior, I have some 6x6 or 6x8 paper that I use in when I'm making some of the embellishments. And then there is all of my metal dies that I use. I keep them here on this 6-foot table because they're very heavy and it takes a lot for me to move them around. And so that is the best location for them at this time. Then as I back up and look under the table, I have some baskets. The first basket is projects in progress. And you can see an album I'm making for my husband, an album of old heritage photos that I'm scanning. That container there is, the plastic bin is my scraps, and I try to keep my scraps totally contained to that bucket. And I use them for embellishments or for layouts. And this is, I hope you don't hear the rattling in the background. My husband was supposed to be quiet, but I think he's starting to prepare lunch. Here is a basket of partially completed layouts or mixed media backgrounds that need to be made into a layout that I hope by having it here that I will start to use it. And actually this week I did complete 3 layouts from that basket, so I'm excited about that. And then I have my last cart, which I can also pull over to the desk, that contains embellishments. Oh, right there you see my reacher, which is kind of essential. Helps me to pick up things that have dropped on the floor so I don't aggravate my back. And here you see I keep the mats for my Cricut. I have thickers and letters, and down here on this shelf I have oh, lost the word, embellishments. I have my different types of embellishments, and on the very bottom I have some of my oldest stickers. And so I want to kind of pause this for a second and go out and show you that all the overflow from the other areas of my home have been completely finished. Here I am at the entryway to the door, so that's the other view from when I started the video, and as I go through you can see that there are no boxes of supplies here. They have been completely put away. The only supplies that need to be put away still are those that are for my Bible journaling that I'll show you in a second. I still have a stack of plastic bins. I'm going to try to use some of them in my garage, and my niece is going to come take some of them and then I'll donate them. So as we go into the dining room, my dining room table has been completely cleared off, and I've been doing a pretty good job of keeping it that way because I have gotten my supplies organized, something I had been working on for a while. And here was where some of the piles were, and you do see some boxes and some baskets and some stuff there on those shelves. That's mostly Bible journaling supplies and some cookbooks, and that is my next area to really organize and to go through. I hope you can see it from the glare of the windows. I should have shut them, and you can see that that whole area has been cleaned up. The only other spot that I really had was as we go from the dining room, and you see the hutch there, I have some organization things, some plastic bins and baskets that I did not use in organizing my room. A couple of those things I use when I go to a crop. So this pile I am going to purge, donate, and a couple of them I will put away for when I need a container. I keep a small number of them. And so that is the update of my scrapbook room. I hope you enjoy it. Bye, friends. Have a good day. Have a happy scrappy weekend. Bye.